Ever get that feeling, when you're planning a trip and it's like you're drowning in options?
Oh, absolutely, especially with a place like India. I mean, it's just so vast and varied.
Yeah.
Where do you even start?
Exactly. So we were thinking, what if there was a way to make India a little less overwhelming? A bit more familiar.
Ah, I see where you're going with this, like finding those familiar favorites, but mirrored in an Indian destination.
Yes, exactly. It's like that travel cheat sheet we all secretly crave. And luckily for us, you sent over a bunch of articles about the best places to visit in India, so we're diving deep into those today.
Sounds like fun. Should be an interesting deep dive.
We've got Travel Leisure's 15 best places to visit in India, according to travel experts. Always a good starting point, right?
For sure. The experts have spoken. What else do we have?
Okay, then there's Global Grasshopper with their 22 spellbinding places to explore in India. Sounds promising.
Ooh, I like that one. It's always good to get those personal recommendations from seasoned travelers.
Right. And then this one from Times of India Travel really caught our eye. Most beautiful places in India that resemble foreign locations.
Okay, I see where this is going. That mirror destination idea. I like
Yeah.
it. It's like tapping into that desire for familiarity,
Right.
even when you're craving adventure.
Exactly. And speaking of adventure, let's talk about Kerala. Travel Asia's experts were all over this one, saying it's a must-see. Imagine this. You're cruising down these tranquil canals surrounded by lush greenery. The air is thick with the aroma of spices.
It does sound incredible. Global Grasshopper actually compared Kerala's backwaters to Venice.
Wait, really? That's wild. But instead of gondolas and Renaissance architecture, you've got those traditional houseboats, swaying palm trees, and glimpses of local life along the water.
Isn't it fascinating how two places can evoke a similar feeling, even with totally different backdrops? That sense of peaceful exploration, being surrounded by water, that slower pace of life, it's like it resonates in both places.
And while Venice is amazing and all, Kerala has this depth to it, a richness that comes from centuries of history, especially with the whole spice trade along the Malabar coast. Imagine going from those peaceful backwaters to these bustling spice markets, experiencing all those vibrant colors and aromas.
Now that's a sensory experience you won't soon forget. Speaking of unforgettable experiences, let's head north to a region that often gets labeled the Switzerland of India, Kashmir.
Okay, I gotta be honest, when I saw that in the Times of India article, I was like, really? Sure, both places have those amazing snow-capped peaks, but could they really be that similar?
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the surface comparisons, but Travel Leisure quoted this 13th century poet who said, and I love this, if there is a paradise on earth, it is this.
Wow.
Right. And that's the thing, that same sense of awe, being surrounded by breathtaking beauty, it's how people describe Switzerland too.
Yeah,
Even if the actual landscapes and cultures are completely unique.
that's so true. It's about that feeling you get. And I imagine in Kashmir, that feeling is amplified by the region's rich history and vibrant culture. Speaking of which, Travel Leisure mentioned Srinagar, the summer capital. It's got those charming houseboats and shikara rides on Dal Lake.
Ugh, the shikaras. They remind me of those leisurely boat rides you take on the Swiss lakes.
Yeah.
But instead of alpine meadows, you're gliding past Mughal gardens and historic palaces.
Okay, now that sounds absolutely incredible. It's like this perfect blend of adventure, tranquility, and history all rolled into one.
Exactly. It's like a beautifully woven tapestry of experiences, all connected by these familiar threads.
Love that. So, we've explored the serene backwaters of Kerala, the majestic mountains of Kashmir, and now let's head to a destination known for its beaches and, let's be honest, its party scene.
Oh, you're talking about Goa. I can already hear the music.
You know it. Global Grasshopper definitely wasn't shy about Goa's reputation as a party hub.
It's funny, though, how one narrative can overshadow a destination's true personality. Because as Travel Leisure pointed out, Goa is so much more than just parties.
They were saying it's attracting families, history buffs, even like yoga enthusiasts these days.
It's true. Goa is definitely changing, becoming a destination for everyone, really.
Yeah, and I thought this comparison that Times of India made was really interesting. They were suggesting Goa as like an alternative to the Maldives.
Oh, I see what they're getting at. I mean,
Yeah.
on the surface, you've got those picture-perfect coastlines, the crystal clear waters, amazing opportunities for water sports.
Right, but then you add in Goa's Portuguese heritage, that's a whole different vibe.
Exactly. You've got charming colonial architecture, ancient forts, a totally unique blend of Indian and European influences, especially in the cuisine. Have you ever had a Goan vindaloo?
I can't say I have, actually.
Oh, you're missing out. It's a must-try. You really feel that Portuguese influence, especially in Panjim, Goa's capital. Imagine, like, strolling through the old quarters with their colorful buildings, enjoying a traditional vindaloo at a local restaurant.
Mm.
It's a world away from those, typical beach vacations.
Okay, now I'm starving. But, this whole mirrored destination thing, it's really eye-opening. It's like India has a counterpart for, like, every type of traveler, every kind of experience you could want.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
Well,
Like, speaking of counterparts, Times of India actually pointed out a few more that I thought were interesting.
oh, really? Like what?
So, for those seeking a desert adventure, they likened the Thar Desert in Rajasthan to the Sahara. Those sprawling sand dunes and the camel trek.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm picturing those epic Lawrence of Arabia landscapes, but with like a vibrant Rajasthani twist.
Right, exactly. And for those dreaming of those, like, overwater bungalows, crystal clear waters, but maybe the Maldives seem a bit out of reach at the moment.
Yeah.
They suggested the Lakshadweep Islands.
Ah, the Lakshadweep Islands. I haven't heard that name in a while, but I do remember seeing pictures. Pristine beaches, those turquoise lagoons, perfect for snorkeling, diving.
And then there's Puducherry, formerly Pondicherry. It's a
Yeah.
coastal town with a very distinctly French ambiance.
How so?
Well, it used to be a French colony, so think charming cafes, cobblestone streets, a slower pace of life.
Wow, that's wild. It's almost as if India has a twin for like every place imaginable.
Right. And just when you think you've got India figured out, they hit you with another Switzerland comparison.
No way. Another one.
This time it's Kajiyar in Himachal Pradesh.
Wow. Two Switzerland counterparts. India, you're full of surprises.
It really highlights the diversity, doesn't it? But, as comprehensive as these lists are, they're just a starting point. The real magic happens when you venture beyond these familiar anchors and you discover those hidden gems that are off the beaten path.
Oh, I completely agree. Speaking of hidden gems, were there any destinations from the articles that, weren't part of these mirror pairings but still caught your eye?
Absolutely. Global Grasshopper introduced me to this place called Auroville.
Auroville.
It's an experimental township in Tamil Nadu, founded on these principles of, like, human unity, peace, sustainable living. The concept itself is fascinating. It's like a place where people from all over the world come together to, like, create a universal city.
That sounds incredibly unique. A universal city. Wow. Were there any other spots that stood out to you?
Well, both Global Grasshopper and Travel Leisure were raving about Rishikesh.
Rishikesh. Okay.
It's a town nestled in the foothills of the Himalayas. It's actually known as the yoga capital of the world, attracting spiritual seekers, adventurers, everyone really.
I can see why.
You can find everything from serene ashrams to, like, thrilling whitewater rafting, all against this backdrop of, like, breathtaking mountain scenery.
Wow.
And for the music lovers out there, there's the legendary Beatles ashram.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's where, the Fab Four famously immersed themselves in meditation and music back in the late 60s.
I love that. It's like spirituality and pop culture, all in this incredible natural setting. Talk about a unique combination. And speaking of incredible settings, I got to ask you about Ladakh. All three articles highlighted it, and for good reason, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. Ladakh is special. It's this high-altitude desert in the Himalayas, like a world unto itself, really.
So what makes it so unique? What can you tell us about it?
Well, for starters, the landscapes are just dramatic. Think ancient monasteries clinging to cliff sides, those vibrant colors of Tibetan Buddhist culture everywhere you look.
Wow. Just wow. It sounds incredible.
It is. And if you're an adventure enthusiast, Ladakh is definitely calling your name. You can trek through these rugged mountains, go whitewater rafting on the Indus River.
No way! On the Indus River. Okay, that's definitely going on the bucket list.
Right. And get this, you can even try to spot snow leopards.
No leopards. Seriously. Okay, you've convinced me. Ladakh needs to happen. It's amazing how these articles, just through their descriptions, they painted such vivid pictures of these destinations. I almost feel like I've been on this whirlwind tour of India already.
And that's the beauty of a good deep dive, right?
Yeah.
It opens up these new possibilities, helps us see the world through a fresh lens.
Totally.
We started with this idea of finding those familiar favorites mirrored in India. And, we found them. Those parallels exist for sure. But I think we discovered that India's true beauty, it lies in its ability to surprise us, to offer something truly unique.
I couldn't agree more. Like you said earlier, those mirrored destinations, they're fantastic starting points, a way to sort of dip our toes into the vast ocean that is India. But it's those unexpected discoveries, the places that don't fit neatly into any box that really capture the heart and soul of this incredible country.
Absolutely. It's about embracing the unknown, letting go of our expectations, and being open to being surprised, challenged even.
Yes, 100%. So, as you're planning your own Indian adventure, I encourage everyone listening, use these mirror destinations as your guide, your launch pad to something extraordinary. Maybe you'll be cruising the backwaters of Kerala, feeling those echoes of Venice, or you'll find yourself drawn to the spiritual energy of Rishikesh, tracing the footsteps of the Beatles, maybe even finding some inner peace along the way.
It's out there waiting for you. The possibilities are truly endless. And that's the magic of India, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's a place where those ancient traditions meet modern aspirations, where that vibrant chaos can melt away into this serene beauty, where every turn you take offers a new adventure.
A new story waiting to be discovered.
Well said. So, whether you're drawn to the familiar or the unexpected, remember this. India has this tapestry of experiences unlike anywhere else on Earth. So get out there, explore, embrace the unknown, and who knows, you might just discover a side of yourself you never even knew existed.
Here's to new discoveries. Happy travels, everyone.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the best places to visit in India. We'll catch you next time for another adventure.